Okay.
All right, 5:04, we'll call this meeting to order. First up on the agenda is to approve and sign the minutes from the April 19th meeting.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the meeting.
All right.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next up is to approve and sign the minutes from the May 9th meeting.
I'll make a motion to
That was
accept
a
those as
workshop.
presented.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Wait up.
Aye. And then we have to approve and sign the workshop minutes from May 16th.
I make a motion, we approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and last but not least, we have to approve and sign the minutes from the May 17th Selectmen's meeting.
Cheryl, need to
Yep,
abstain. Have a motion?
Do I have a
Make a
motion?
motion.
Do I have a second?
Right here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those abstain? Aye. Alright, now, as long as our technology continues to work, we have Steve Johnson from the Administration Bureau of Bridge Maintenance, right?
Administrator of the Bureau
Bureau.
of Maintenance.
Okay, and we have Jennifer Rezick, who is the project manager and bridge consultant design chief
For this famous green bridge.
for this wonderfully famous
Binding
bridge.
It's a two-component presentation, do you?
Just go ahead and introduce it and it'll be.
Okay. So, I don't know how I got in charge here. So we have two different initiatives going on right now. I'm the project manager for a capital improvement project that will be coming in the next few years. And in the meantime, so I'm for project development. We initiate projects, design them, bigger projects. Steve is with bridge maintenance. So their group is responsible for going out and doing more maintenance and preservation type activities. And in the recent inspection and some site visits, they've realized that things are deteriorating and that we're gonna need to get back out there before the capital project comes along. So I think Steve was gonna talk a little bit about the bridge maintenance piece.
Yep.
I'm moving things everywhere.
Is there a way to advance slides or how do you?
Oh, you
Yep.
wanna give it, maybe
Just
it
give me
there?
a nod and I can,
Okay. Well, you're all familiar with the bridge.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, the existing bridge was built quite a while ago, it's 1939, it's, a tight arch, and it's got an open steel grid deck, which is a problem with bridges, they don't really do that anymore, unless they really have to. It was a way to save money back in the day. It's been red listed since 2014, and it was posted at 20 tons, I think, in 2019. And it's currently rated 445, and those ratings are, it's a 1 to 9 system, but the second day the bridge is built, it becomes like an 8.
Okay.
kinda like the car
I've
you
never
drive off the lot.
I've never understood their thing, it's like driving a car off the lot.
Yeah.
First car goes over it, it drops to an 8. And 4 means that it's in very poor condition, and 3 means it's in serious condition. And so basically the rating is kind of from 3 to 8, not the other. But when it gets down to a 4, it's obviously requires a lot of attention on our part. Now, bridge maintenance has been working on this bridge substantially since 2010. We've already replaced over 40% of the deck grid on there over the past few years. As I'm sure you're aware, we've been out there on a regular basis. I think we're almost up to $400,000 now we've spent on this bridge, taking and just replacing the grading and putting plates out, and now additional work is needed. And as Jennifer mentioned, there is a capital project, but right now, that's ad date is 2024. So this bridge, even if the ad goes out in 2024, there's gonna be a year to order materials, it's gonna be 2025, so it's gonna be at least 3 years yet before they go out there and actually do any work on the bridge from the capital program. So if you wanna go to the next slide. So if you look at, what, you went past it.
I did.
It's bad.
Oh, God.
Well,
Just use the arrow.
you can
So
take,
we saw it
we
long
keep
enough to
going,
remember
but
what was
basically
there.
there's a lot of holes in the decking itself. It's very rusted. Like I said, we've gone through and replaced a lot of the decking. This last couple of weeks we were out there again. There's actually depressions in, okay, there's the one where you're seeing holes. And those are the main support bars that go across between the stringers that run longitudinal to the bridge. And there, you know, we went out, there was depressions in the bridge in that area, one particularly bad, but you can see two there. In some places it's been like up to an inch of depression. And so keep going with the next one. And replacing the deck isn't a simple process. It's got lead paint on it. So if you look at that, that's our lead trailer, our decontamination trailer. And then if you look behind it, there's kind of a shelter that goes over the bridge to contain the lead while we're doing lead containment. And then we have to have something underneath the bridge to take and catch it all below, because it has to be a sealed negative pressure environment. So if we go to the next slide.
Need help?
Oops, I think
Is
we
it
went,
not
we went
going?
past.
No, it,
There we go, there we go.
okay.
So when we're doing this type of work, you know, we're doing it, again, it's lead work. And so the people are in that shelter taking and cutting the old pieces of the deck out, cleaning up areas that we're gonna be doing welding. Go ahead to the next slide. And then once the lead work's done, they can take and put some of the grading back in place. Go ahead to the next one. Now, for the grading itself, originally we had some grading laying around in some of the yards from previous bridges. 4 or 5 years ago, we started tearing down some loading docks that we had built in our yards out of grading. The last time we went out, we went to E.D. Sweat and bought grading from them that had come off the Sewell's Falls Bridge in Concord that they had taken apart. We've run out of grading. Short of going through and ordering brand new grading and waiting like 6 months to get it in place, and then putting on a bridge that's going to then be taken apart in 3 years, and quite expensive besides, we've basically been out of grading. So now we're going to, the next item, we're gonna be plating. Well, we've been plating the bridge. To support the plating, we first have to cut some such sections out of the deck to put plates down that we can take and set it on, because we have to support it somewhat independently.
Is that what is there now?
That's
Under the plates. And then,
Those big hugger plates, yeah.
yeah, and then you'll see that we
Speed
put,
bumps.
we put plates down,
Right.
that we have to take and lower into place. Go ahead to the next. And so that's basically what's there now, although there is one more plate because that was taken before. And so those plates cause a bump on the bridge. Actually, I don't know if it was the police chief or one of the policemen that came by the last time we were there and asked, oh, you've finally taken the plates off the bridge.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls on them.
And that was not the case. We're adding more.
It's not fun on a bicycle either, I'll tell you.
I don't
Motorcycles are,
And that's one of the concerns we have also, is even the depressions with a motorcycle, you hit that wrong, not looking, that can be a safety hazard. And so we're very concerned about that. And we've gone through, we've replaced, go ahead to the next one now.
Okay.
We've replaced over 40% of the grading on this bridge, or the plates itself. And like I said, we've got 3 years left. Every time we put a plate on the bridge, it decreases the capacity of the bridge. We've run out of the ability, like I said, we're spending way too much time and effort on this, and we're short people too, like everybody else. Bridge maintenance, our bridge maintainer 123, we're like 46% vacancy rate right now. So we're having trouble even getting people to be doing the work.
right.
And this bridge has to last another 3 years. And so what we're going to be looking, the department's going to be looking at taking, you can go ahead to the next slide, that, you know, again, we've been working since 2010, it's been a little close to 20. The department's looking to go down to 1 lane and to also reduce the load on the bridge to be able to keep this in service. Even doing that, we're still gonna put 5 more plates on going down to 1 lane.
And this-
Because
It will stay 1 lane for,
it'll stay 1 lane
till the,
till the new structure is in place. There'll be lights on either end.
Someone show Biden's visit.
Yeah, I wish he hadn't chosen this one.
He was a big help.
And by the way, the department did not recommend it, they came up with it.
we're like, what?
I think it was a very good background for it, you know, nice
Yeah.
bridge, but,
Beautiful, yeah.
Consumed our lives for a couple weeks.
but now comes the really bad part. We're trying to keep this open for another 3 years, and trying not to be out here plating every day, and every time we plate, we're gonna reduce the load again. The department's recommending going down to passenger cars only.
Oh, okay, so
And so we're looking at going down to single lane passenger cars only.
single.
We wanna take and wait until, obviously, school's out, because the school buses are going
Sure.
across this right now, they won't have time to adjust. And we wanted to come and make you aware of it before things happen with that too. There's still a number of coordination things the department has to do in order to get, because we're gonna have to put span
Lights.
wire signals up.
Yeah.
You can't just use the temporary signals for
Right.
3 years. And then if you can go to the next slide, I mean, you're familiar with it, there's also, like I said, we've gotta make sure that we've got 2 intersections there, they're both dead-end roads, the one goes to the propane and then the water treatment plant, and the other one goes to residences, and there's, again, houses right off the bridge on both ends, so we're gonna have to coordinate some of it with the signs for that. But,
Ledford
mean-
usually goes back and forth through Plymouth anyway now, they go right for the highway, so they'll just use 175.
But,
But
Same
you'll
with
have to
propane
too.
trucks, they'll just have to go
The
around.
I
town
mean, it
trucks.
doesn't appear there's much choice.
No.
but the concern is that if we don't do this, that we may not make it in the 3 years.
We you don't wanna shut it down. is what
We don't wanna shut it down. We've already been shutting it down on a fairly regular basis to put plates in and grading and everything else.
Yeah.
We've tried to work as much as we could to keep it open. But that's where we're at right now, and that's what the department is.
When you say
looking to do.
it diminishes the bridge capacity with the plates, is that because of the weight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
those plates are
Yeah.
quite heavy.
Oh, yeah.
The original decking was like 20 pounds a square foot, the plates are 40 pounds a square foot.
Wow.
So
Just
when will
taking-
this
Yeah.
probably happen?
What's that?
When will this, so we can kinda, we wanna make
It
sure.
will be, again, we're gonna be looking at, when school gets out, we're gonna be trying to do this in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I haven't checked yet to see when, school is out.
Would it be possible for you to,
17.
Obviously,
you
we,
give us so that I could have a press release and
yeah,
do
we,
it
Yes.
urgent?
we would definitely do a press release, we can get that to you ahead of time.
If you
Right,
could
yeah.
get the sooner, the better, then I can start
We just,
setting it out through
right,
urgent
we just wanted
and
to come to
emailing.
you and tell you what was going on.
No, we appreciate
And then I
it.
have
Yeah,
the proper
and I get to be the
wording
bearer of
and
bad
you know what I
news.
mean?
Now, what is commercial
With the
traffic
facts.
and what isn't commercial traffic?
And,
How does
well,
that
that's the
decide?
other thing, if we post it down, as the chief bridge inspector says, if you open it to anything, you open it to everything. That one of the things this does is, when you post it to passenger cars only, from an enforcement standpoint, if it's not a pickup truck or a car or a small van, it's overweight. Whereas when you do 20 tons, the propane truck comes across, he says,
Right.
so I'm only half empty, I'm only half full.
Right, so,
And again, even without that, we'd have to downpost it because of the plates we're putting on, so.
so, an average pickup or,
Yeah, nobody's gonna be concerned about, a F-350 or something like that
Right,
going
right.
across.
One-time pickup.
Unless he's,
One-time.
you know,
Yeah.
and again, part of
I'm
it's,
just saying
part
some
of
of
it's
the
gonna be,
construction guys,
yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously if they're, loaded for bear in the back or something like that, then you might have an issue.
We,
Um,
for years.
But again, as part of it, like you say, it makes enforcement better, and it also, from a safety standpoint, we're not necessarily concerned about anybody falling through the bridge. The problem is, like you say, when you have those depressions in the road, when you have pieces of the decking sticking up and slashing tires, you have bicycles going through, and you'd really wanna watch out now going across it. Certain places that you're not gonna have a tire go down into something. We're trying to make it in a safe condition and then keep it open until the project can come through.
Sure. I think once you put the lights up too, that it's gonna discourage people from going that way.
Well, again, I think,
People go around, which is
Right.
fine,
Is it gonna be like a 6-ton limit,
no, it's gonna be passenger cars, and it's
Less
gonna
than
say
that,
3
then.
tons. Again,
3-ton?
I know that there's some pickup trucks that go over
Well,
the
that's
3
what I mean,
tons,
there's a
but,
lot of 1-tons that are rated 11,000-12,000 pounds, so.
well, again, if they're
they'll have to go
empty,
around.
it's probably not a problem. If they got stuff on them,
Loaded
they
up,
shouldn't
yeah.
be going across it.
Okay.
Like I say, again, we're more worried about the fact that, like I say, even this, we were expecting we were gonna have to come out in the spring and put some plates on, and we're having to put them in different places than we thought we would. The last time we put grading on, they had picked out the year, 6 months ahead of time, we're gonna take these places, they got out there, it's like, no, we gotta switch to this other location, because it's not gonna last.
Wow.
So, that's, let's see, my part was to take and basically tell you why we're in the situation we are, and where we're planning on going. And then Jennifer was gonna be talking about the project, just so you have a better idea of the project. Normally she'd be coming a little bit later on with the public meeting, But it felt like you would probably want some additional information on that also, which is why she's here.
Great.
Have you decided on which side of the bridge you're gonna?
South side. If you look at back one slide, we've already replaced a lot of the grading on that side
Yeah.
in the wheel pass.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're gonna be looking at, trying to keep that better section of grading. Like I say, that entire middle bay is gonna have to be plated before we do that. And our intent would be to do that while we're still maintaining that one lane of traffic on the other side. But obviously, once we go down to one lane, we're gonna be putting some posts up and some guardrail up to keep people from going off into that location.
We'll give the fishermen more room.
Yeah,
I'm assuming the purlins.
Yeah, they will.
The kids jumping
Okay,
from the bridge.
purlins,
Oh, yeah.
The stringers underneath
Underneath, yeah.
are going to be fine right now. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on them, because one of the things that happens when things start to deteriorate, they actually accelerate.
Sure.
Deterioration accelerates.
Weaker material.
If you were just putting a piece of a plate out in the middle of the road and just letting it sit there, or a piece of steel, it would rest at a pretty constant rate. When you keep putting stress on it over and over again, it accelerates once you get to a certain point, and we're at that point. So, Jennifer, if you wanna take and talk about the
Sure.
project?
So if you wanna flip down a few slides. So a week ago, I hadn't planned to, or I guess Monday, a week ago, I hadn't planned to be here right now.
Okay.
But it seemed like a good idea to come out and let you know what we're working on for a long-term solution as well. So I've kind of pulled together some slides here that I pulled from another meeting. So some of this we've kind of talked about already. It was built in 1939 after some of the flooding. It's one of two remaining bridges of this type left in the state, and it was determined to be eligible for the National Historic Register in 2019. If you want to keep flipping. So we carry about 570 vehicles per day. Right now, the roadway width is 24 feet between curbs. And like we've been talking about, this open grid deck has definitely led to deterioration of the floor system. And we've talked about the cyclists and motorcycles and that sort of thing. So our purpose is to address this bridge. It's on the state red list. It's been there since 2014, to provide a structurally sound crossing, allowing for the highest possible load posting. So we're anticipating that when we're done, we'll be able to remove all of the load postings. And that minimizes the impact to the character defining features, and those are elements that have to do with that historic registry. We talked about it's in poor condition. It had been down posted to the 20 tons, and now we're looking at further down posting, largely due to the floor system at this point.
You just went through that, right?
You're there.
Yeah, so bridge inspection was done, oh, that's okay. So we had got a consultant on board, we'd done a bridge inspection, a detailed inspection in 2019. That's also when we determined that it was eligible for the historic register. The load rating was done in January 2020, and that's what led to the down posting because of the current condition. We've been doing some natural and cultural resource coordination within the department, and then the last piece that we just got was this rehabilitation study report, and so that was an inspection and gives recommendations on which elements need to be addressed and what we would do with them. So just a few pieces that we talk about here. The steel arch itself is pretty self-evident. The vertical pieces are hangers, so the floor system is really suspended from those hangers off the arch. The bridge rail going across, obviously that's for crash, keeping cars out of the river. Hanger pins, I note, holding the hangers to the deck as well as the arches. The floor beams and stringers underneath, and then the cable tie, which is one of the unique elements on this particular structure. So the floor beams, stringers, deck, and bridge rail are all heavily corroded, preceding section loss. And luckily they were not considered character defining features of the bridge. So we will be looking at replacing the entire floor system, looking at putting back a solid deck, as well as new bridge rail as part of the project. The arches themselves luckily do have adequate capacity for legal loads, as do the hangers, other than the pins which hold them together. So we are looking at cleaning and painting the hangers and the arches and replacing those pins to carry the heavier loads. And both of those are considered character defining features from that historic context. The other piece that is significant here is that cable tie, and that's in fair condition, but again, isn't adequate for legal loads. So we will be working on replacing those as well. Because of the type of structure, we'll have to put in a temporary tie to hold everything together while we do the final permanent replacement. So just a quick summary, again, replacing the entire deck system and supports underneath, the cable ties, the hanger pins, cleaning and painting the arches and the hangers. This will require full closure to traffic.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Because of the width and because of the way the structure is supported, there's not a reasonable way to try to maintain that.
What's the time estimate you're probably gonna get there?
We're hoping for one season,
Like
so
6 months?
April to October
April to October.
is generally what we look at.
That's not too bad, yeah.
And
But
that
doesn't
would be around
inconvenience like the
2025.
school and all
What?
that stuff? It wouldn't inconvenience like school time and getting children to school and that kind of stuff.
Maybe for a little bit, but not.
But not enough
Yeah.
to turn in a couple months.
And then, so one of the things we will be able to do is widen the bridge a little bit where the curbs now, there's like very, very wide curbs.
Yeah.
So we are gonna be able to get a few more feet, so we'll be 28 feet between curbs versus 24 feet. So not huge, but it's something.
You would have like a passenger walk area.
We
It
wouldn't
won't
do a
have enough room.
sidewalk, but
Okay.
it just gives a little more room for error out there.
So that's we're gonna have to stop the fishing off of that bridge? If it's all travel, no passenger,
We will
no
stripe
public?
it at the 11 or 12 feet, so it'll have like a little shoulder
Okay.
out on the edge.
It'll
Yeah,
be
I
the
mean-
same.
As you know, a lot of guys like to fish off of that bridge and
Yeah, I mean, you'll still be able to walk out there, it's the
Okay.
same.
Like
same
to
width
jump
you
off
have
the
to.
bridge too.
Yeah, don't jump off the bridge, I don't wanna hear that.
Oh, the kids do it all the
The
time.
kids do it all the time.
I don't wanna hear that, we're
Right.
not having fun on the bridge.
Oh, you.
Don't look.
Yeah, don't tell me about people jumping off bridges. So
I used to do
the,
it all the time.
Me too.
We all did, I think, growing up here. That bridge and the trestles.
I was the good newbie, I didn't.
Oh, sure.
No, I did the trestle after a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
61 feet.
You go higher up, there's more beer.
The more beers you have, yeah.
Yeah, well, we got all the way to the top,
I only did that
once, yeah.
once. Anyway,
You know you live in northern Hampshire.
We'll let her.
anyway, go ahead.
Misspent youth, it's just.
yeah, no, that's okay. So we are looking at wrapping up our environmental assessment this fall, as well as the historic assessment and the effects that we will have. We'll plan to come out and hold a public meeting here in town, probably this fall timeframe.
Okay.
And then at that point, we will be getting into any permitting and the final design. So the advertising date right now is in January of 2024. Once upon a time, that was enough time to get this constructed in 2024. We have no idea
Yeah, at
how
this
things are
point.
gonna go. And so
Right.
that's kind of where Steve was saying, if we, like, based on the way things are right now, we wouldn't have the materials in time to start a project the same year that we advertise in January.
Let's hope things get better.
So we'll have to look at that. We are looking at trying to accelerate this, but there's quite a bit of work to do. So if we can get it out in the fall of 23, we will do that. Trying to shoot for actually doing the construction in 24, but again, with staffing and workloads.
Yeah, we won't hold you to it.
We're not sure how it's gonna go. And right now, we've got 3 million set aside. We are using the IIJ money, so I guess. President Biden name. We've got 3 million budgeted, and again, that's an older price, so we'll update that, and we do have funds to put into this as that increases. We're seeing, some pretty
Not
heavy increases
Sure.
across the board with our construction bids. So there will be funding to get it done when we get there. I think that's basically.
Is this gonna have an asphalt surface when it's finished?
Going to be a bare concrete deck when it's
Concrete.
finished.
It's concrete.
Yep, so we are looking at an orthotropic deck system that will have a concrete surface, but it's a lighter weight than a typical, like, complete 8-inch concrete deck, which is sort of our standard. And again, that goes back to the load posting. We've got 20 pounds per square foot out there now, trying to get something that's solid, that's as light as possible, so that we're not eating into that capacity for vehicles in the finished condition.
Seems reasonable.
Not great news, but
No, but.
thank you for keeping us up to date.
Yeah.
Something's gotta be done.
Yep. Very good.
So,
Well, anything we can do too to help with posting notices and.
Yeah.
Yeah. we'll-
They're still gonna
we'll-
allow a
soon as
state
you-
truck to
We
cross
just,
the
we
bridge
just
in the
wanna make sure we
wintertime?
let people know
oh,
as we
absolutely.
go.
They're gonna have to take and
Yeah.
plow with a smaller vehicle.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we had at least.
Cause they'll be able to
2
come down and
weeks
turn around at
or
our
3
dump
weeks
road,
to let
but
people know when it's.
coming
going
down the
single
hill the other
lane. I mean,
side-
they're gonna start to
No,
see
the
you working there,
District
but
engineer has already
it's
expressed
catching
his
those
displeasure
folks
with
that
it.
don't
that
necessarily.
Oh, I bet.
That's gonna happen.
Guys that like to come in and make the
Yeah.
loop,
He used to make the loop, he
I'll
can't
be
do
that
that
one.
anymore.
nope.
We just need to do the best we can to let everybody know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you have like a listserv in town?
She does.
I do, so if you email it, to the admin account that you've been
Yep.
emailing, I'll put it out there
Okay,
as soon as we can.
okay.
Can we make this PowerPoint that you sent, the PDF, can we make that PDF available on our website for folks
You
to
have
look
an
at?
issue?
Do you have an issue with that?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
attach
fine.
it to the notice you,
Yeah,
when you send out,
Okay.
attach this advertisement and, do you have all the other ones?
No.
Oh,
He
I
does.
think,
oh, you didn't sign it.
Trade you. You sign that one, you can make it.
Alright, so you want me to
no,
go
no,
get,
no,
the tax collector, or you guys,
sure.
okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you
so much for your time, we
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it.
thank you.
Thanks for all your efforts in keeping that bridge alive.
That's Steve's guy.
What's left of them?
Yeah, oh, you know, even like the motor vehicle
It doesn't like my fuzzy face, I tried to
No,
get back.
probably
in.
not.
I promise I'll be do better next time. We only use it once every 2 weeks, and make sure you think we're able to keep it charged.
Doesn't like mine either, you've confused it.
Oh.
That's it. There you go.
Keep on opening stuff, Gillen, closing it. That's the key.
No, I was, and then I get so enthralled with the presentation.
Right.
I didn't realize it was in that poor shape.
Neither did I.
Last year,
That's why I asked about the purlins and the substructure.
last year when I was talking to the bridge guys, cause I've known from before, the guy said if it was up to him, it would've never been set at 20. It should've been a lot lower then.
Oh, for weight?
Yeah,
Okay, so
but that's kind of
you're up on this
the go-to
one.
weight
Sure.
when they start cutting them down.
No.
That's your renting printing. It's gonna be really miserable looking at this on my phone.
Here,
Do you want a printed copy?
I have one, she can have.
You have one?
Take notes for me. There you go. I know wants to
Oh,
do
is
it.
this it?
Yep, that's
How
it.
come on my thing it's like 5 pages long?
Cause you gotta go to the tab.
Because you've got to go to the last tab.
What did
of
you
it.
bring over the, here you go, this is
A
the
fact,
front one.
fact sheet, okay, I like that. Oh, that's good, there's not much there.
And then if you go back,
Oh, there we go.
wait a minute, how come it's not
Final
full
sheet for
screen
selectmen.
him?
Okay,
Yes.
that ain't bad. That looks a lot better than it did this morning.
That's fine.
Yes, it
When I looked
does.
at the other one.
Oh, yes, that's the first one where I started. I put it,
Yeah.
I put it in it, all in the same, put it in it.
Wow, this is great.
Trying to clean
Okay.
things up before you take off.
Yes.
Nice job though.
Yes. Well, we started with 23. Normally we start with 30 something, so this year it was even better, only starting with 23. And now we're down to 4.
Yep.
All right, so we're down to 4. I can go down through each of the 4.
Sure
Do
thing.
my. The first one is, 164 Deer Park, Unit 174. Outstanding balance is,
What's your quarter share?
yep, is 298.53. They did, I'll give you the whole history. Sent it out, sent a regular notice in the mail, was not returned, sent the notice certified, somebody signed for it, did not respond. I finally was able to find a phone number for this gentleman, and was able to contact him. He did not get back to me until today, shortly after 3, when he called. And he was not aware of this, he's going through a divorce, wasn't living at the property, blah, blah, blah. He only owes $298.53. He has since this afternoon, gone and got a certified check, sent me a photocopy of it. Sent me a copy of the FedEx, and sent me the tracking number. It should be here tomorrow.
Great.
Okay.
It is up, I mean, technically the payment isn't here right now, but the payment is on its way, will be here tomorrow. So you can decide to sign the deed waiver because the payment is, technically it's on its way. I told him I would present this to you guys and you guys could decide.
Well, there's also association fees tied to this, so we would
This
not-
is only a quarter
Take it
share.
anyways, right.
Yeah, it's a quarter share that has association fees. So you guys can decide to sign the deed waiver or,
Can you just write who seconds and motions beside each one for me,
Yep.
please?
do you want this one?
It's
I
okay.
have an
It's
extra
okay.
copy.
Oh, you do?
Well,
No,
yeah.
you keep it, I'm fine.
Okay.
I think,
I didn't see what it-
I think we should sign it, if it doesn't show up tomorrow, you rip it up.
Yeah, can we do
So-
that?
Absolutely, you can sign this, and if it doesn't come, I will come in, I am planning to come in tomorrow.
Okay.
And then if it does not arrive, it says it's supposed to arrive by
4:30.
4:30, I think is what it says.
FedEx.
FedEx.
Yeah, that's right.
But I have a tracking number,
I think it's
I think it's
fine.
reasonable.
so,
Oh,
it will be here.
Pick it up and take it anyways.
And if it's not, then you can direct me to, well, we have to restart the process of noticing, but,
Excuse me.
to take it, to start the process to take it again.
So I'll make a motion to sign the deed waiver for 164 Deer Park.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next one has quite a lengthy story. 1103 Daniel Webster Highway. It is, I can't find this gentleman. Everything that I send to him, based on the information that I have, comes back to us, whether it's certified or not. Regular mail, certified mail, everything comes back. I did try to do a True People search, which is one of the tools that we can use. I found a new address, sent a generic letter saying, hey, we've been recently notified of a possible address change. If this is the case, please get in touch with me as soon as possible to talk about this property. That was sent in April. That letter did not come back. However, no contact from this person.
Did you send, and you sent it certified?
That one, because it's an address I found online, I did not send it certified because I technically do not know if it's his.
Right.
So I sent it regular mail, based on the address that I found on True People. Found a phone number, tried to call that phone number, was not the correct phone number for this person. My lady did her deed searches for mortgage companies, did not find a deed change, or a mortgage change, so I sent a certified notice in April to Harbor One Mortgage, which is the owner of record according to the registry. Is the only mortgage holder according to the registry. That was signed for, but when I contacted them, they no longer hold the mortgage. That mortgage was sold the end of July 2019. So then,
Wow,
oh, this has been quite a process.
yeah.
So then I pulled up a copy of the mortgage that was filed in July of 2019, found out I could take a number from this and put it into the mortgage company's search engine, and found out that somebody else holds the mortgage, Nation Star Mortgage.
They sold it again.
No, they wouldn't talk to me because I don't have this person's social security number.
Well.
So then, I contacted CoreLogic, which is a company that sends a lot of mortgage tax payments to us twice a year on behalf of their vendors. And so this person's taxes is paid up to date. The liens on this property is a result of unpaid water and sewer.
Oh.
Nation Star Mortgage, Mr. Cooper apparently holds the mortgage on this property, although it is not recorded on the Registry of Deeds, which is why I didn't notice them or send a notice to them, because it's not on the only place that we look. It's not on the Registry of Deeds. So I have contacted CoreLogic. They have sent a message to Mr. Cooper, but I checked again about an hour ago and there is no update from this mortgage company.
Is there someone living in it?
It's a rental property.
What is it?
Yes,
It's
multi-unit.
It's a multi-unit.
So they technically in their rent are collecting the water and sewer fees, or
Sure.
water fees at this point,
Right.
or should be.
Should be. The sad part is the amount for the year of deeding, the only amount owed is $399.76. However, I am not able to find this person, nor have, after all of that, those phone calls, cannot get a hold of the actual mortgage company.
And
It is
can
not
we
without
knock on
luck.
those doors and say, hey, your owner is not taking care of these, would you?
Well, we can't tell them that.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough.
We could, I suppose we could send an officer down to see if they could provide a phone number. I'm not comfortable going and knocking on their phone.
No,
Their doors.
but an officer,
But
yeah.
could send an officer down,
give
to
this
see if they
individual's
have
contact
contact information for this person. I have tried to, not that I rely on Facebook, but I try to figure out where this, do
Yeah.
everything I can to find this person. And
I mean, I know it's our
I mean,
job, but I would hate
those-
to displace people because of a unpaid water bill that.
you would technically take that over.
Yeah.
Right, if you were to take this property.
But the law said
Right.
I know you
Right.
should
not
I-
should, you shall.
You shall.
With any luck, in the next couple of days, maybe Mr. Cooper, who I believe is the actual mortgage company, will get back in touch with us. So,
How long's the waiver good for? Like if we were
the
to
waiver
say,
is good for, until you tell me it's not, or tell
Sure, we
Cheryl
can
it's
make it-
not.
so we could
We can make it
attempt
for
to
2 weeks or something.
for another 2 weeks in attempt to really nail this down, and then revisit it in 2 weeks.
Well, you
You
start the whole deeding process.
would
Oh,
start
yeah.
the process over again,
All
which
steps
is the
over again.
same
It's not just
with
you
this
get
one,
done.
with the other one that just went around.
Well, I would think within a couple of weeks, we might be able to straighten it out, or is it, but it's a big process, to do the deeding thing all over again.
You have to start, and the deeding process starts, well, I normally send a regular notice before I send the certifieds. The certifieds go out, technically they have 30 days to make the payment. So, if in 2 weeks you decide that the waiver is no longer valid, then, in writing, you'd have to instruct the tax collector to, start the deeding process again by starting the notices. You can call.
Ugh.
Well, they also have to pay for all these notices and things, right?
The fees do get added on.
Well, they get add not the, well, she would add on the.
You would start
all
on
over
those
again.
deed notices again. So, what is it, 1875 or something?
I mean, it was a whole year taxes or something, I felt differently,
But yeah, it's $399 of water, like,
It does result, absolutely, it does result for unpaid, I think it's just water.
It's just
Um,
water, so
I
yeah.
think it's just
Yeah.
water, there's no sewer down, that property doesn't have
You
sewer
could
down
always
there.
send it off to them tomorrow and ask them to, I don't know who lives there. Oh, I know one person that lives there.
Yeah,
and,
I don't know anybody who, I
um,
mean, I know somebody who
I
used
just
to,
wrote
but,
myself a note, cause I know one that lives there.
and see if they have a
I
number.
think I would be in favor of that.
let's do 2 weeks.
Let's go 2 weeks, let's take 2 more weeks to figure it out and find
Because
out.
it's a big rigmarole, taking the property for
Yeah,
$199.
well, what would happen is you'd have to take the property and then they pay the taxes and then you have to transfer the property back to
And
them.
they'd have to pay for the
All
legal
those.
fees again.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
But the problem is, once I notice it, I'm like I just did for Lilac Street, it's gonna get returned to me because they're not gonna get the notice that we're gonna sell it.
Right,
Because-
Oh,
yeah,
right,
because
that
we
one,
don't
right.
have, right,
cause we don't have a good address on file,
right.
although that
So I
address that we
no
have on
way
file
Other than,
for that one is a new address, is a newer address
right,
for Lilac, but it's still not good.
I say I make a motion that we sign the
wait for 2 weeks.
lien waiver, and let's go another 2 weeks trying to track these individuals
And then there's no
down.
mercy, like, we've done
Right,
everything we
we've
can
done-
do,
we've done-
and just to help with them.
What
and
we
then
can.
hopefully that,
So I got a motion on the table, do I have a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would have to
And
guess
let's
he'd be,
get somebody,
Notify.
yeah.
I would
We could talk to Kev.
assume that he doesn't know, I mean, obviously, all those notices have been returned to me,
oh, it's
so
not a very good,
he doesn't have, but at some
Business
point,
person.
he has to realize that he's not getting any correspondence, he's not even getting his tax bills.
well, he knows something.
The
But
only
they're being
reason that his
paid,
taxes
so
are being
probably-
paid is because the mortgage company pays them.
And a
When the
mortgage
file
company
gets-
won't cover water and sewer.
They will.
some,
They
yeah, they
will.
will.
Oh.
So, yeah,
They
especially
will.
when they get to
So
this
maybe
point.
And that gives more time to work with them
Right.
too.
Right, when I contacted CoreLogic, you know, typically they will send a payment and then just work it out with the customer, but I have to believe that Mr. Cooper, who is the mortgage company, has a way to get in touch with this individual,
Sure,
that I can't, you know, they must be making their mortgage payments,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, well, and like you said, the other taxes are.
The other taxes are being paid because, well, those files go electronically to CoreLogic.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
the owner isn't sending anything to the mortgage company, it's me sending the files over,
okay,
so.
Okay.
Okay, so that one's signed. The next one is that parcel in Lost, the Lost River Road parcel,
yep,
which I believe you're working on sending.
Oh,
Notices
yes,
out
I
to-
have,
Notices.
they've been passed, they had so many days to sign or not respond, and nobody responded, and I got one signed that they were releasing.
Okay.
So now it's just a matter of me finding the time to turn it, to work with my Mountain National Forest to see if they want it.
Okay. I'd say if they don't, you could always talk to Spinnet, would be another one.
Who?
Spinnet Society for Protection of New Hampshire Forests.
Yeah, if you send me
Yep,
their
I can
info,
send you.
I'll start there, and then, so I would say, I would recommend
No.
signing the deed waiver because I need to work it out with them, that's a landlocked piece of property.
yep,
And I had to go per legal through those steps, and I had to go back to even the great-grandchildren to get signed off.
and no one signed up.
Nobody signed off with interest in wanting,
So
if they
we're,
did acknowledge it, it was like signing off on the letter.
so we're basically gonna take it and see if the
We're
Forest
not gonna
Service.
take it, we're gonna see if we can transfer it to
Forest
the
Service.
Forest Service or Society, White Mountain National
Society
Forest
for
Service.
Protection of New Hampshire
We're
Forests.
gonna turn it over to them, so it'll just
There's
be,
no sense in grabbing a landlocked piece of property, you
No.
can't turn it over.
I agree.
so. There's no use to us, and we're not collecting taxes on it anyways, and that's the lawyer's recommendation.
So you're gonna sign the deed?
Yeah.
We're gonna say, yeah, so motion
sorry.
to sign the deed waiver for 0 Lost River Road. Do I have a second?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
I just
Okay.
haven't had time to get back to
Yeah.
it,
Sure.
so.
Nope.
But I did get the
This
letters
summer.
out and get them back.
Great. And last up, our favorite.
The
little
last
condo.
one is 22 Dwarf Condo, which is part of the association.
Right.
Is that building still standing?
I did glance over as I went past last night, it's still there.
I received a call on, what day were
Last
you in
week.
the office?
What day I come by to work on that? I can't
The
remember.
grant, later, last week, I have two families that have been interested in this, going back and
Right.
forth,
Someone
for
contacted me
many
not that
years.
long ago.
There's condo fees here anyway, so that's the reason why we don't take it, plus the condition of the property, it's condemnable.
Right.
So we've been going back and forth for years with them. This other family who has a lot of interest now, has hired a lawyer. She approached me Friday, she wanted us to take it and then turn it over to her, and I said, that's not the way it works. You need to work it out with your association, get your association, enter into an agreement with your association for them to foreclose on it for back association fees, and then you will take ownership of it. And then I said, you could approach the board, maybe work out some interest forgiveness or something, but it has to start with the association. So she has a lawyer doing that, they're in the process right now.
Yeah, otherwise, if we take it, we own it first. If
Oh,
we-
Yeah,
right,
if it falls
right.
through,
Yeah.
we're stuck
And,
with it.
right, and
It's
so
huge.
you will
Yeah.
start having to pay the association
I went down and
fees.
went through it with the assessors. It's bad, it's vandalized and it's bad,
Okay.
but the association fees are, and the association wouldn't take it over because they didn't want the liability of it.
But chances
But
are,
now-
this person might work it out.
Yeah, she wants to build on it actually, so it's a win-win for
They're
everyone
gonna tear
involved.
it down.
Yeah. I think she has maybe children or something that.
So we're gonna end up getting our tax money,
Oh,
and we're gonna get a new house put there, so.
Yeah.
there-
Yes.
more
And
tax
get it on
money.
the tax
so
pay.
we're
It's
getting
all
that on
good.
the tax
Tax
roll.
rolls.
It'll be kinda like
Great.
the same thing we did when we entered into the agreement with, Scenic View on one of the mobile homes there.
Sounds good.
Nice.
So I would recommend
I would
signing
So,
it.
Deed
yep,
signing that
so
waiver.
make a motion to sign the deed waiver for 22 Dorf Condo.
Oh, second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
He's done four.
That's it.
He's done good.
That was
That's it.
It's really,
I know, I couldn't believe
That's
she
not-
came
that-
up.
With, not
Nothing
without
to
its
do
struggles.
No,
No.
I'm
Nice
sure
one.
the hair pulling
That
done.
was, that was my toughest one yet, especially with those last two.
Yeah.
Alright, my dear.
So that is the deeding, just to give you an update on the liens. I did lien on Thursday for the tax year 2021. And that was, I liened a total of 65 properties for outstanding, bills from 2021. $99,286. However, I went back a couple of years just to show you. 2020, we lien, I don't have the number of properties. For the tax year 2020, it was 108,705. And then for the tax year 2019, it was 265,000.
There's
Yeah.
actually
So
improving.
there
Yeah,
is
it's
a
improving.
huge improvement over the last couple of years.
Yep.
We didn't lose revenue.
That more people are paying.
Yep.
Right, right,
It
those
didn't
are
impact
big
us like
because of
other
COVID
places.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a huge improvement,
Yeah.
just from last year to this year.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yep.
there's not a whole lot, I mean 99,000, but there's not a whole lot of,
In the scheme of things.
In the scheme
in the
of
grand
things, it's
scheme of
really good.
things, it's much better than it has been in the
Yep.
past few years.
Excellent. Great. Thank you
So-
so much. And thank you for all that you've
Absolutely, we
given
miss
to
you.
our community for several years.
Much he is. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not gonna cry.
Nope.
I'm not gonna cry.
I am.
You'll be
Yeah,
crying
appreciate you.
soon, Cheryl.
We
Me
appreciate
too.
you, taking her calls when she calls.
Thank you.
Absolutely, anything that you need, just give me a call.
Oh, so you're not going anywhere?
Oh, yeah, well, no, I'll answer the phone for Cheryl.
So I guess that brings us to our next step, and that would be to, you open up my.
If you can read right off that.
Oh, I can? Oh, thank you. Would be to, so we need a motion though to,
Yeah.
accept or appoint, Cheryl, yes, Cheryl Barassa as the new tax collector for the town of Woodstock. Do I have that motion?
I would
Okay,
make that motion with,
I'll second it.
very good. All those in favor?
and thank you for
Yes, and
going
thank
the
you.
extra mile.
This is great. All right, so, do we have to stand for this?
She should, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you,
No,
boss.
you don't have to.
All right, Cheryl,
Do I have to stand for this?
To Cheryl Barassa of Woodstock, New Hampshire, in the county of Grafton, whereas there's a vacancy in the office of tax collector in the said town, and where we, the subscribers, have confidence in your ability and integrity to perform the duties of the said office. We do hereby appoint you, the said Cheryl Barassa, a registered voter of the said town, and upon taking the oath of office and having this appointment and the certificate of the said oath of office recorded by the town clerk, you shall have the powers to perform the duties and be subject to the liabilities of such office until another person shall be chosen and qualified in you stead.
I do.
Next step.
And now pronounce me bride and bride.
Right? That's now our town clerk.
One more for Judy to.
Yeah, no. You're up
Am
again.
I dismissed?
No, you're standing up again.
Oh, no,
Raise
not
your right
you.
hand. You get to swear at me. I, Cheryl Barassa,
I, Cheryl Barassa,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent upon me.
as tax collector,
What's that?
as tax collector,
As tax collector,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my ability,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution
of the Constitution
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire,
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
so help me God.
So help me God. Damn.
Here you guys, there's 2 copies for you.
Too late now.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna
Now am I
miss you.
dismissed?
Bye. No.
You are dismissed. I'm gonna miss you. Thank
Yes.
you. You're welcome.
Thank you
For
No, thank you.
the last 15 years.
I'll be still getting bills from her.
Different heading.
Yeah,
Different title on the top. Okay.
Alright. Oh God, don't do that. I won't be there when I get out. Well, you get back, but I won't see you
I
tomorrow.
will, yeah, I'll come back tomorrow and tie up the last loose ends. So,
She's gonna tie me up.
Back to that desk.
I want a picture of that.
Oh, yeah.
thank you guys.
I'll see you
I
tomorrow,
appreciate it.
Cheryl.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll be there. Unless I'm not.
Next up, we have to review and approve the Stone Dam agreement. Did you guys have an opportunity to
I
read through
read
that?
that
Yep.
I
a
did
couple
too.
times.
And this is back from Laura.
Right,
Laura's gone through it.
She rewrote it.
she did.
Yeah, she did all that.
Well,
So,
It seems like a good give and take, it really
yeah,
seems
she
reasonable.
really did a good job with it, I thought.
I make a motion that we accept this Stone Dam agreement as
It's,
presented
Great.
and sign it.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Has Thornton seen that?
yes,
Yeah.
it's,
They're all-
yeah,
they like
it's
that
been
one.
through both. I think they might have already adopted it. They had a meeting before us.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then.
it's been through both legal.
Oh, the next
Perfect.
thing up, apparently we need to have an authorized official resolution for the Northern Borders Regional Commission grant. So, we have that At the May 31st, 2022 Board of Selectmen's meeting, it was motioned to authorize Selectman Cheryl Reardon to sign the Northern Borders Regional Commission State Economic and Infrastructure Development Investment Program application, and should this project be selected for funding, all NBRC investment documents that bind the town of Woodstock. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Scott says
Thank
yes.
you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
I was
you.
just reading the next thing.
So vote, do I just gotta put affirmative here? I'm
Yes.
assuming?
Yep.
And, okay, here you guys go.
Thank you. Did you ever get back on this?
No, you're gonna have to table it, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, we're gonna have to table, only because the auditors catch this where it'll raise flags. The request for the fire department's thing, it has one amount in the upper part, and then that amount doesn't come total the same as down below.
So these don't add up to that, but not that, we can't figure out what the difference.
So they just have to put it in next time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just need to,
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
either
Just redo it,
tell
yeah.
us what the $130
Do you wanna take it
difference
back? It's
is,
yours.
or,
Peggy did it wrong. I'll find out.
Okay.
So, I gave it
So-
to Melissa, she might be reaching out too, can we have a motion?
yeah, I'll make a motion to table
Thank
it,
you.
until they can clean that up.
Scott, you should abstain.
Second.
I'll say.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's all I got for tonight.
Alright, and that's all, do we have any other old or other business? Do you have anything? Oh, I see you got a joint meeting for Lincoln on here.
Oh, yes,
The
that's
11th
the
or the
only other
20
thing I need you guys to let me know. You
The
don't want
11th
this
or
in
the
here?
25th?
Yes. I used to be ready.
Yeah, I need to know, Lincoln reached out to me, and asked me, these are the only dates they're meeting in July.
In July.
The 25th, what do we have to meet
The
on?
11th,
Just a quarterly meet?
this is just the quarterly meeting.
Okay.
11th is planning board. I'll miss that.
No, the 11th doesn't
Okay.
work for me either, the 25th works better for me.
25th for you, Gail?
Of July.
Well, yeah, they all work for me. My question is we were gonna have an issue or have a discussion about waiving the,
You guys don't have to have
We don't
that
have to have
discussion
that
with
with
them anymore because they voted on their part
to
and have
waive it.
already settled it, so that discussion will happen in your own meeting.
Okay.
And
When
I
we get the documentation.
did
Until then, we're
send,
not waiving it.
was it last week?
Yep.
I don't know if I copied you guys, I think I did, I know I talked to you about it before I sent it.
Yep.
Another request, and I sent it directly to the
The
director, and I didn't receive a response, so I believe it will just, I'm gonna have to email the finance department in Lincoln and tell them to bring it back on the roll, they're not providing anything.
With no
So,
surprise,
okay,
but
I know, so 25th, good for you?
Yes, 25th fine. Are
July.
you gonna send them an invite?
I will
Yes,
Yeah.
send
send
you
an
invite.
invite.
That works great.
Yeah, it does.
It's coming here tonight. Ding, oh God.
And the 9 o'clock, so because of, I had to play around with your schedules because
Sure.
of public hearings and stuff. So starting in July, the first meeting of every month will be the 9 a.m. one. And that's
Okay.
where we'll try to schedule all the state because,
The state meeting and
right,
Yeah.
because
engineers.
they're no longer
Engineers and
coming
all
out at night anymore and willing to do that. The only reason that this one happened was because it was an emergency.
Emergency.
Yeah.
So, in order to make it work to meet with these people, they're not giving us that flexibility anymore,
Yep.
as you guys know.
Yeah.
But I couldn't make it happen until then because of the way we have our public hearings, cause all public hearings need to happen.
Yeah,
In the
At night.
evening.
that's fine.
Yep, that makes
Yep.
sense.
So as long as you're good, it'll start on the 12th, and I sent out, I know it got a little confusing there, but every time I turned around, there was
And I'm
something else.
easily confused.
That's why
Yeah,
I
there
was
was a lot
worried.
of invites I sent.
I had to keep changing them and
Yeah.
then, and that's why I thought you weren't showing up, and like, oh, I really messed
No,
him up.
No, I had looked at it, I knew I was coming tonight, it just got rolling on stuff and I just forgot.
Very good.
Oh.
Yep, anything else on that? Oh, 4th of July, Kim from the Western White Mountains reached out to Tammy and I, for a theme, I guess, and so we've decided or chose to go with Our Lady Liberty as the theme for this year.
Sounds
Yeah,
wonderful.
doesn't it? Doesn't it?
I like that.
What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Our Lady Liberty, so anything like Statue of
Statue of
Liberty,
Liberty.
that
Oh,
kind
Our
of
Lady
stuff.
Liberty,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I
so
like that.
I think it'd be some cute floats.
I'm gonna do a float this year because
Provides opportunity for it, yep. So,
I have all the Bosnians do the Liberty float.
confirmation if we have a band
We do have a band.
for July 4th.
Oh, speaking
For
of
Monday,
bands, can I
July
have
4th.
them?
Okay, do you
What's
have?
that?
Do you?
I've
sorry,
got all the
I didn't
bands
know.
lined up, I just have to get, contact information, for one for the 23rd of July.
Cause then I can start getting those
Oh, actually,
contracts
for
out.
the 4th of July, not the 23rd. For the actual 4th of July, I just have to get the contact information so you can send him the contract.
Yeah, I have to send them all out, I don't have any of them.
I know, I've
Oh,
got,
okay.
got it all set up.
What about the trailer band? Can we get them back?
The trailer band?
The ones, the
The
band that
horn
sits on the
band?
trailer.
The St. Johnsbury
No.
Line,
They're coming,
They,
and they're coming on Saturday of 4th of July weekend,
they'll, okay.
instead of on the Monday. They called me early, requested that,
We lost.
we would do that because St. Jay actually wanted them to perform in St. Jay
Yeah.
on the 4th of July. That's a first,
I always thought that was fun,
Yeah.
but then.
but, at any rate, they've been loyal to us for
Yeah,
25 years or more.
yeah.
So I see, I have no problem, of course. And the other band I've got, I think is, you're really going to enjoy, for the actual 4th.
Oh, great.
They're really good.
Great.
And
and
couple of
the same
buddies of
time
mine.
as usual,
Yeah,
7
same.
PM? Is it 7 PM or 6:30?
6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
Does Plymouth do a 4th of July float?
I have no idea.
It'd be great to reach out to them, they have a fabulous band, they used to march and stuff in the Christmas one, Delina was in it to see if they would come up and do our parade.
Get on it.
It'd be nice to have, they do a great job.
Anything else under other business? No? Public participation. Is there any questions, concerns, thoughts? Cheryl, you came back.
She missed me.
Can I make
I
one comment
did.
for 4th of July?
Sure,
Ban the confetti shooters?
Do what?
I will bring that up with Lincoln.
It's already been, they've already received,
That was a disastrous mess
Okay.
we had to deal with.
a letter from us from the town about a few years ago.
As long as it
on that.
rains the next day, it's not so bad, they kind of
No,
melt.
that stuff does not melt.
I'm just
It was in front of Fadden's store and
Oh, I
down
didn't
through
believe me, I
everywhere.
didn't-
They
For
can
the whole
certainly
summer.
add it to the, I'll talk to Kim, cause she usually puts the registration thing together, and we can ask that be highlighted on there.
Yeah, a few
Please
years
refrain
back,
from
remember, we
confetti.
had to send a letter
I mean,
Do
David
bubbles.
comes through and sweeps
Two.
anyway, but that
It's
was,
a
to the
mess.
chamber
No, wait, I-
about confetti, and they did it
Oh.
again last year. And it was a mess all the way up through.
There's not a little of it, there's a lot.
No,
There
there,
was a
it would be one
lot.
thing
Oh,
if
it
it was
doesn't
just a
even have to
little.
It wasn't
Doesn't have to
the-
be a
it
lot to
wasn't
make it
the
look like a lot.
biodegradable paper that was in them. That paper did not,
Yeah.
it was still there at the end of summer.
Okay. Fair request.
Alright,
Alright, so, being nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Excellent. All those in favor?
Aye.
6:07.
Dead iPad.
Yeah. So, you